Yay, we're live. Don't have to have a seance to hear the broadcast. Old spiritualist joke. I say it just about every time. It's good to be live, isn't it? It's good to be not alive, too, sometimes. I mean, people in the afterlife seem to be having a great deal of fun. So I guess it's good, whether or not. Hmm, imagine that. But here we are, live. Oh, hello, Project Skyfalls. How are you doing? And discussing what the is going on, Leap. Because it's up and it's down and it's sideways and it's back and it's right. It's the best of times. It's the worst of times. It's we won, but why is stuff still happening? And you know, people have different explanations that they foster, but really, let's just discuss it. What do you think is going on? I know what it looks like to me. Um, but what if it is a choice? I mean, what if we're in that part, you know, of the game in some games where you get to pick, you have to pick an option. Which option? What if all along we've been given options and we're supposed to pick? You're supposed to pick something. I really believe that there's a choice. Most of my lessons recently have been on you have a choice. I think this means we're freer than we've been in a long time, that part is true. That we are finally freer than we have been in centuries, at least. Um, hey, Simon. And I think the trend will continue as long as we keep choosing for it. Oh, don't let ourselves get mired back into um, slave think that we have to depend on somebody, you know. And that's very difficult because there's always this aspect of hero worship. And although we are not the only heroes in this, um, I have been getting told for a long time, from practically the beginning, humans must instigate their own change. Why does this always happen? I'm fine, and then I come on and I have to yawn. Anyway, humans need to instigate their own change on this planet, and then we get all kinds of help. And that's the way that I was told a long time ago. It's like nobody is going to really come in and change everything for you because it's your world. You have to change it. However, we can help you, change it once you decide. But you're not allowed to decide. The good guys aren't allowed to decide for somebody else what's going to happen. So I thought it might be fun to look at all the end of world scenarios we're being presented with, because we're being presented with a ton of them. And honestly, I don't think any of these that I heard that I have heard so far, maybe you've even heard of more. I don't think any of these are going to happen. Not in my world, anyway. In my reality, none of them are going to happen. But they're interesting to think about. And even at that, there's a lot to unpack here, though. Uh, We are finding out more about our own history, and we're finding out just how far off it is. It's amazing that now looking back on it, it's amazing that they could pull the wool on us for so long. And isn't it amazing when you meet people that don't know any of this and they're still stuck in the beliefs that we were given when we were growing up. And they still haven't figured out that, this can't possibly be true. It can't possibly be real, what they're being told. It's very surreal now when I talk to people, and for a while now it's been walking between the worlds, walking between two worlds. You've got to be, a lot of people are just, there it is again. A lot of people are just so relieved when they finally find somebody that they can talk to about this sort of thing. And that's why it's important that we continue to disclose. And I do agree that it's not really about so much disclosure, because really we know. I think the experiencers have told each other, oh, windblown hair. We've told each other plenty of times, and we keep doing that. That's how we know anything. It's the only way we're going to ever know anything is tell each other about it. We have to be our own news, because the news isn't being the news, right? The news is no news. They don't tell us anything important. So we're now the news. Guess what? We're now disclosure too. That's what it is. I mean, that's the way it is. And confirmation? Maybe someday. When they can't do anything else. Yeah, maybe some yeah, maybe a little confirmation on the disclosure, but the disclosure is all coming from us. And it always has been that way, as far as I can tell, for a long, long time now. Yeah. Yeah. Please hit like and subscribe if you're new. And hello. Hi, Dark Meta. How you doing? Hi, Richard Elmore. Who all we got here? Let's do a little quick shout out. Project Sky Falls was in first. Linda Bennett was next. Linda Bennett says she's just passing through and might be back. Oh, thank you for letting people know. So basically, we've got all kinds of choices, and we're going to talk about that. And if there's only one thing you can take away from anything I say, is please take away the part where I talk about you've got choices. This is not, as far as I can tell, there isn't hardly anything written in stone except what's actually written in stone. Unless it really is written in stone, there's nothing written in stone. And even that is subject to change. I mean, and even things written on pieces of paper that we've had for thousands of years are subject to change now. And people are going, it's CERN, it's this, it's that. But if it's a matrix, then it's as simple as switching up a little bit of code, isn't it? It's not that hard. So once again, I'll be showing you some ways to do a little bit of recoding. And we'll talk about stuff, all of these possibilities. Hey, I am Pam. And what I'm seeing, because it's not giving me it's like, hey, all hand pink waving, hand pink waving, hand pink waving, hand pink waving. That's what it says. Yeah, it's not showing me the emojis. Okay, so I'm going to put on the intro and be right back. The ocean of the ocean's deep blue. And for those of you who don't know, we're mostly experiencers here, and we're all about the experiences, and we're to try to understand that everybody can only tell an experience from the viewpoint from which they experienced it. If there isn't enough proof to suit you or some other thing bothers you or it wasn't exactly like your experience, well, that's, things are going to be different for different people. People are going to see things through their own filters. And that's okay. But one thing, if I can give you anything, is please consider that you might have a choice about what happens, the next thing that happens, the next few things that happen. Once we get past this point where we've been, and the thing is, we've been under controls for so long that it's really hard to even contemplate. Even for me, in a way, it's like I've been pushing back so long. Every time I see something come out and they're trying to sell it to me, I'm thinking, okay, what's wrong with it? What are they not telling us? What's the real story? What kind of BS are they trying to pump us with now, right? And this is all of our governments, not just this one. But it seems like all of them. Okay, what are they selling us this time? What are they trying to get out of us this time? It's going to be so weird once this finally is cleared. One of the ways, it's like some kind of crazy reverse compass. It's like exactly a reverse compass. And it's funny because my parents were like this. They just could not be right about things. I don't know what happened, but if I took their advice, I'd always get myself in trouble. So I kind of got into the habit of doing the opposite of whatever they said, and then that was the right thing. And in most cases, that would be 100% fine, and it worked. And it's kind of gotten that way with government too, but like most codependent parents, which our governments are, almost exactly like codependent parents. I mean, truly, if you look at it, isn't that what we've got? You know anything about codependent parents, codependent families? There's the gaslighting, there's the controlling, there's the lying, There's the isolation, all of the factors, everything that a codependent parent does, the government does, keeps secrets, just everything, and won't let you tell the truth. So, uh, extreme paranoia, all that stuff. That's the way we've had it now for a long time, hundreds of years actually. And in earlier decades of this country, we just thought we were being told the truth. I mean, you look, the 50s. Oh, you think you were being told the truth in the 50s? Oh, you dear sweet little thing. Bless your heart. There was never. I look back at it. Yeah, try to keep you at home. What? Pay you what? Oh, see, this is really weird. It's like everybody has this idea of the good old days. But as far as I go and look for the good old days. I never find any good old days. I go back into history and I look for some good old days when things were actually good and it was okay to tell the truth and we weren't at war and yada yada. People had a decent standard. Everybody had a decent standard of living, and all of that. I can't find it. I can't find that time. What the heck happened? Yes. Were there ever really any good old days? I can't find them. I think it's a myth. I think whatever good old days, they may be in a personal way better than what they are now. But usually, aren't they when we're young and dumb and too dumb to realize? Aren't the good old days usually from when we're young and too dumb to realize what's really going on in the world? Is it just our ignorance that's making them good old days? Is it just before we started figuring things out? It could be. I was just barely here in the 50s, toward the end. Just barely. Just barely. I was really more of a 60s kid. So, yeah, these are the good old days. These might be the good old days. These might be the only good old days we have. And yeah, they were good old days. And then we grew up and realized that most of what we were told was a lie and we couldn't talk about it. That now, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, I remember when I was a kid, I hated being a kid. I hear people talk about so idyllically about being a kid, what it's like to be a kid, innocent, fun times. It's like, really? I felt like I was in prison all the time. I felt like I was in prison. Is that why we all seek to grow up, want to grow up so fast? We're all looking to grow up is because being a kid is just so great. One of the things I hate about the whole idea of reincarnation, does this mean I have to be a kid and grow up again? Oh God, I don't want to have to go through that. I think that's one of the reasons I think when I died and I came back and I was different, I think I am different. I think I said, you guys, isn't there some way that I can come back and not have to grow up again, not have to be a kid again, not have to be born and be a baby and be helpless all those years, spend all that time in school learning a bunch of crap over and over again that isn't even true, and then being tested on it and your whole value and worth coming out of that. And then after 12 years of that nonsense, and you think, well, it's going to be better when I'm an adult, and then you find out that it's not going to be better. You want to know why teenagers are so damn moody? It's beginning to dawn on them. Preteens and teenagers get moody because I think it's beginning to dawn on us. It's not just the hormones, that's part of it, sure. But it's beginning to dawn on us that all this time we thought maybe when we were adults we might have some freedom. It might be okay. We might be past it. And then it begins to dawn on you that, wait a minute, I won't have support of my family. I'll have to find my own support. That means that part of my day is going to have to be taken away by work. I'll have to find some work. I'll have to find my own place to live. I'll have to take care of myself somehow. Wait a minute, I'm not going to be free. I'm just going to be, it'll be chores that there'll be nobody to do but me. Well, I'll have some kids. Well, wait a minute. I have some kids. I have to take care of the kids. What if they turn out like me? It's actually kind of scary. There's no guarantee they're going to do the chores. And even if so, I may have to give them an allowance. And then they're noisy. They're very expensive. I'll have to work extra to feed them and house them. And you know, it begins to dawn on you. It never ends. It's always something. You're never going to be free. But you can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say it to yourself. That's how it felt. I remember those days. Because even if you're walking, you have memories. Hey, Deb. How you doing? So, we're walking around. By the time we get to preteens and teenage, we're starting to get it. And especially teenage girls. Especially teenage girls. Oh yeah, we get it first. We get the message. Oh yeah. Things start happening to our bodies and yeah, we get the picture really darn quick. Oh, yeah, this is all happening to me so I can make babies. Ain't this wonderful? So I have to go through this every month so that I can pop babies out. That's going to be my life. Depends on how you feel about that. Some people I can see, some people are not feeling good about that at all. And honestly, I'm not an anti-baby person. I'm not an abortionist type. I'm a choice person, but I think that we should give everybody every chance to live. And I have to be a choice person because it's either got to be my body, my choice, or if they're allowed to do something with your body, that means they can give you something in your arm that you aren't you aren't giving permission to. And so they've got us in a vice here, don't they? Right. So, am I pro-life? Yeah. Am I pro-choice? That too. Yeah. I'm pro-life and pro-choice. How in the heck does that work? It's like I think we should explore all of the alternatives before we do anything rash. That's what I think. Like different various ways to keep ourselves from having to make that decision and having to go through that. Oh, Deb, you were a force to be reckoned with between 15 and 18. Yeah, me too. Ah, boy. And seriously, we were so naive. Even the smarter ones of us, even the ones that had a lot happen that made us older than our time, we were still so naive. Even in college, they're still so naive. They don't know it. They think they're worldly. They think they've seen stuff, and they have seen some stuff. Wait till later. Wait till later. You ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah. So now we're adults, or at least some of us claim to be that. And we're sitting here with all these end of the world scenarios, wondering to ourselves, okay, what should I prepare for? But the truth is, and some of you are smarter than very smart. I mean, some of you are really more aware than realize that you know more than what? Maybe 80% of the populace, right? You know more about what's actually happening. So, isn't it strange? We're still sitting here thinking, okay, what's going to happen next? Are we going to get what we want finally? Are we going to see? We're starting to see what we have been asking for, what we have been trying to manifest for decades. It's starting to happen. And I'm telling you, as strange as it seems, one of the signposts for me is an independent rapper getting #1 position on the pop charts for a pop song. It may seem minor in the aspect between wars and famines and all of that, but you know what? It's historical. It's never happened. I've said this every time. The last few times, I say this every time. Mark my words, this is a turning point. This has never happened. Now, my first impression was, is somebody pulling the strings just to pull our legs? Oh, you owned the world when you were 19 and didn't take advantage of it. How many times have we heard the saying, youth is wasted on the young? It's like now that we know all this, wouldn't it be nice to have the energy and youth and flexibility and vitality and all of that to be able to act on all of this that we know? We might still be able to have that because I think those times are coming when we can have that back, when I really believe that aging is a disease, is a combination of diseases, and that can be changed. That's not something that is a definite that because look at it, people age completely different ways. Not everybody ages the same way. It's extremely variable. So, you know, let's say, like I pretty much accepted this as probably a matrix. It's got to be a matrix. It acts like a matrix. It acts like it. And remember, I always say This is just tips, tricks, and hacks for playing that massively multiplayer, total immersion, VR learning game, hollow fractal game called Life on Planet Earth. It has nothing to do with real life, which takes place outside the Matrix, right? The interesting thing is being a medium, being an empath, and finding out a lot of people who pass on, finding out the lies about the what's going on? Could you hear me? Was I gone? Was my tablet was having a blackout. Anyway, so it looks to me like we've got choices. And I have been choosing the weather. I've been mitigating weather for a long time now. I've been crossing souls over. Having died and returned, that gave me some insight. Listening to everybody else who died and returned and revived in some way, listening to their stories has given me a lot of insight. And there are many, and there will be many more, because we can revive people now better than we ever have for hundreds of years. We can revive people now. There's going to be more and more and more of these stories about what's on the other side. And then talking directly to people on the other side, because I'm a medium. And whatever you think is really going on there, sorry, but it's been proven to me over and over again that these people are people. Are people. Okay, you want to believe something else? This is certainly not your channel, because I am a medium. I am a psychic, although that seems to be almost like a dirty word now. Clairvoyant, clairaudient sometimes. All of these things sometimes, like all of the clairs I've had, okay? And I think this is something that all of us can have, and even more. I'm even thinking that everything that we've heard Sasquatch can do, we can do. Probably we can blend in. I've tried that. I practiced that for a little while, just to see if I could do that by being very still. And there were actually times when people said, have you been standing there the whole time? Yes. But they didn't see me until I moved and said something, and then I kind of startled them. So this is possible. And oddly enough, what I'm trying to see. Okay, I frozen. Let it go. Let it go. I froze. Yeah, my from this side, the screen went black and I couldn't see anybody chatting or anything. But so here's my question. What so far into the world scenarios would you pick if you had to pick one? Or would you just pick, are you just picking, I picked none of the above, because I decided I'm not going with any of the end of the worlds. I'm just not going to make an end of the world. I'm just not going to. Now, I don't know why, because honestly, I've been to the other side and it's not bad. And we have all kinds of stories about how it's not bad. And, you know, And I talk to people on the other side all the time. As a matter of fact, they've banded together and gotten quite a few things done to help us. I hope you realize we're getting a lot of help from the other side. It's really a big thing with them. It's a big push. Remember, they're us. So I came up with at least 13 different end of the world scenarios I've been presented with. And I realize I probably skipped a few. Yeah, me too, project. What if I choose none of them? What if I choose my own damn scenario that I make up my own self? What if I choose the one where things turn out well and we're not under anybody's thumb and we actually find out what good old days could be like? What if we do that? Let's do that. Let's decide F all of this crap. None of this crap is going to happen to me. You already know some of us live through one version and some of us live through another version. We already know this because of the Mandela effect. You know what? I really think that is one of the things it's proving to us. Some of us remember it one way, some of us remember it another. As a matter of fact, in my reality, since I revived, I've had personal Mandela effects happen. At first, it was very slow. Drip, drip, drip. And then it was drip, 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 drip. Pretty soon it's probably going to be a flood. Things are going to be changing that fast, okay? And manifesting things. So, if there's anything that I can say, please realize that you have a choice of what you're going to manifest, and that, as far as I can tell, we always have had a choice. It's just that that choice has been driven by outside things that are not in our best interest, and stuff that we've been told, and stuff that's been handed down through generations, and stuff that authority figures told us, and stuff that history books told us, and stuff that the doctor told us, and all that crap, and stuff that the controllers wanted us to believe and wanted us to create for them. And really, a lot of us created our own versions of this. And really, if you look at it, and I use them as an example, the David Koresh people, they created Armageddon. They believe very strongly in Armageddon. They had their Armageddon. They had it. They made Armageddon for themselves. They believed in it that strong. And I have seen people choosing their own demises. So, what? Jeez. Really? It's giving me a hard time posting that for people to see. I'll just read it. There it goes. How evil mediums are, and threw me for a loop, and I was trying to figure out why. You know what? Hi, Mary Wins. You know what, Deb? And most of you probably know my sweet sister, Deb. She's my sister from another mister, I call her my sissy boo. Deb and I, we go back a few years. We met online, and we just knew that we were sisters. like some of us do. We know we're family. And yeah, how evil mediums are. And they send it to you like, do you not realize who you're talking to? Uh, thanks for like completely disrespecting me. And it's obvious that the scripture that you're taught, and it's not even the scripture. They've never seen a scripture in their life. They have never seen a scripture, I guarantee. You know why? Because nobody has a scripture except somewhere maybe buried in the Vatican. They've seen a Bible. It's in the Bible. It's in one of the versions of the Bible, one of the many versions, hundreds of versions of the Bible. Yeah, you can find it there in the scriptures. They've never seen a scripture. They've never seen or touched or held a scripture in their whole lives. Neither has their minister or anybody else they know. No. Bullshit. Don't tell me scripture. Okay. And don't tell me King James wrote the Bible from burning flame letters he saw on a wall, or I'm going to just drop you on your head, drop kick you on your head, and send you on your way because you're just too ridiculous. But if that's what you want to believe, you go ahead, sweet pea, and believe that. Bless your soul. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to be offensive to you, but you're an idiot. Just naive. Maybe, but I think, and that might be considered hate speech. I don't know. I hope it isn't. It's not that I hate you. It's that I can't help you if you are so ingrained, so invested. I can help a lot of people. You know what? I've helped a lot of people. I'm one of those unstrung, unsung heroes, right? I have crossed so many people over. I have gotten rid of so many people's spirit problems. I have changed the weather for people, weather patterns for people. I have done a whole lot of stuff. I have done some things that scared the Jesus out of me and scared the heck out of me because I knew it was something I had to do. It was my job because I was there and I knew how to do it. Don't sit here and tell me that I'm doing evil. Don't tell my sweet sissy poo there that she's doing something evil. You haven't seen evil unless I'm telling you. You don't want to get me mad. You don't want me to tell you about yourself. You'll stay up at night wondering what I meant. And but I don't want to do that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I I keep that side of myself under control, as we all should. That is a side that you only unleash when it's absolutely necessary. You know? I mean, seriously, don't don't be doing that to people. Don't Oh, talking to the spirits is evil. Okay, just go away. Go have fun. And God bless you. I can't help you. You got to choose it. You got to choose it to be helped. It's true. How many crazy people does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but they got to want to change. I think that was one of the old stupid jokes. It's like you gotta have some kind of an opening for this to work because you're building this, and if I'd only known, back then what I was building when I was listening to all this crap, when I was watching all of the horror movies. Now, later on, it was more of a professional thing because I became a makeup artist and a costumer and stuff. And it was more from a professional point of view. I was looking at how they were doing makeup and costuming and special effects. It was an entirely different way of looking at it. But when I was a kid, feeding myself stupid shit, horror stuff, and as fun as it was on the one hand, on the other hand, it was stupid. Um, I didn't really need that shit in my head. However, and you know, God, if that's fun and you know the difference, like I said, to me now when I look at it, it's more of a professional thing. Gee, I wonder how they got that effect. Gee, look at that. That looks so real. But now that we've got CGI, it's not that big of a deal to me anymore. It's not even, wow, that's some nice CGI you got there, pal. But I'm dealing with AI assisted art now. I'm showing you in my thumbnails my AI assisted art. You can you can make anything look like anything now. It's going to be 3D and in your face. You're going to be thinking you're talking to a person and they're going to just disappear in front of you because they were just a hologram. As a matter of fact, I guess that one guy did that at a demo and I was just hearing, gosh, I'm trying to figure out whose channel that was, that a guy was, that they didn't realize he was doing this. But as he was giving his talk, he was walking up and down the aisles, you know, all over the place. And then he gets back up on the stage. He finishes his talk, and he says, and that's what I mean about um, the magic of um, CGI or whatever it is, you know, holograms or whatever it is he was giving his talk on, and he just disappears. Just boop, he's gone. As they just saw him walk up and down the aisles, and boop, he's gone. He's just gone right after his talk. He was never there. He was never actually there. So I'm sitting there going, is this what we're seeing with one of our leaders that I call Gramps Sniffer? When he's shaking hands with ghosts, people that aren't there, and can't figure out where he's supposed to be walking. I mean, is he really even there? Or is that a hologram of some sort? Is it even worse than we're led to believe? You know, is this even deeper than we're led to believe? You know, we're okay with it being, well, okay, I guess I'm okay with it being an actor. Okay, and I might even be able to, you know, I might even be able to think maybe it's aliens. I ain't saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. But what if it isn't any of that? And what if it's just hologram? And they can make the hologram do anything. Yikes. And I look at what we've got, and all around the world leading us. It's like there's no way this can be real. I see stuff on the news. How about you guys? Have you done this? You look at the news, you look at these people, you look at the way they act, and you're like, this can't be real. Who wrote this script? Who wrote this script? I want to talk to who wrote this. This is ridiculous. I could write better than this. Yeah, it's all green screen. You know what? People have said they've gone by the White House and nobody's there. It's a ghost town. It's bullshit. It's all yeah. Yeah, Deb. It's just a freaking illusion. All of it. All of it's an illusion. And why? There's some inn that they're coming to. So, yeah, we did done the call out Mary wins, yeah. I did say hi to everybody. I think James Orts. Let's go again. We had Project Skyfalls. We had Linda. We had Pam I Am and Mary Wins and Pam Smith and Deb Varner, James Oritz and Richard Elmore. And I see Richard Elmore. I see Deb Varner. I feel like Miss Barbara. I should be holding up a mirror with no. Anyway, some of you remember Miss Barbara, then you do remember those reportedly good old days that never existed. Yeah, Project Skyfall's there. Yeah, the world really is a stage. What if it really is? And what if we're okay? So when I do these processes are ways to rip up code. When I do the thing of what attitudes, opinions, and judgments, because really that's how it's all driven. It's all driven with attitudes, opinions, and judgments. What is in your head? What's in our heads? What's been put in our heads? What are we creating to create whatever it is that's happening? Well, quite a lot of us now have this idea that things are going to get better and that we're going to come through this. And this is wonderful because, yeah, we're finally starting to see that. And I really feel like in your individual life, you will see what you most strongly believe in. The kind of results you'll have it somehow in your own life. And Pam Smith, probably, I give up. I don't know what. Okay, my listexia is not kicking in and I cannot read the typos correctly there, Pam. But yeah, the world is a stage, Mary Wins. It really, really is. And we're part of that movie. And I actually, when I went to New Orleans, I actually had people who would say, I would be looking at the street punks because I was homeless in New Orleans. What a heck of a place to be homeless. But if you can make friends, you can be okay, even at that. But it's a heck of a place to be homeless. A lot of corruption, a lot of ways to die, a lot of ways to disappear. People disappear all the time down there. Very easy. The bay flushes everything out to sea. The alligators, there's alligators and all kinds of other things to get rid of bodies. So, but I was looking at it, and because I had gotten all my belongings stolen, we didn't have phones back then, individual phones. Remember, this was back before that. Before everybody had a phone, you had to find a payphone or somebody's home phone to use. And if all your money was gone, you didn't have money to even put in the payphone. So that was another thing. You didn't have money to do long distance. So, but it's funny because the psychics, every now and then one of them would say, but that's not the movie you're in. That's not your movie. They're in a different movie than you. And at the time, I was only just on the cusp of beginning to understand what they meant by that. But I think they were aware because somehow down there, the energy is so strong that even somebody who is kind of a mild psychic would get real psychic down there. Um, oh, one of your granddaughters is there now. Yeah. Funeral homes are always busy in New Orleans. Yep. So, you know, I think that there has probably always been among some people an awareness. And when I was down there, I was psychic as I was just, everything was really easy to see. I mean, it was like, wow, amazing. It's very, yeah, it's stick with energy. That's a good way to say it. Yeah. How did I get to Ohio? Well, see, I had come from Ohio. I drove, and I managed to retain my car, which wasn't easy, but I managed to do it. I made some friends, and I got a job like really fast. And I found a place to live, although it wasn't a great place. It was a place with somebody who was nice and wasn't trying to rape me. And I managed to help that person. That person told me all about how he was actually had been into construction and how he was in danger of being evicted from the place and how he knew that the landlord had just bought up a bunch of new places. They're probably going to need a lot of work, and how he'd love to meet the landlord and be able to get in on that work. And I said, well, it's all possible. And he said, well, okay, and you can stay here with me a while, and you don't have to do anything. He says, I can tell you're a good person. You don't have to do anything. You can just stay here a little while. And, you know, he said, you know, and it was like pretty amazing um, because he was pretty poor. But I said, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow the landlord came walking right up that sidewalk there and offered you a job. And he just looked at me and he said, wow, that'd be great. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Like, oh, yeah, what a good idea. Guess what? The very next day, the landlord came walking up the sidewalk. They got to talking. He offered that guy a job. And the guy is just, I can see the look on his face is like, what? What? Really? And he turns around and I said, something going on? He said, yeah, yeah, I'll be back. Just uh, don't stay as long as you want. Do whatever you want. I'll be back later. And then later on, when I talked to him, he was employed by the landlord. I said, see, I told you were going to get a reward. So, well, yeah, I'm in Ohio, Project Sky Falls. You know, Pam, it's a magical place in many ways, both the up and the downside. New Orleans. It's magical and it's magical. Um, but it's an interesting place to have passed away, actually. Interesting portal out. Many spirits down there, and you know what? It's like when I was down there, man, it a lot of vortexes, a lot of portals in and out. And maybe it was just the easiest place. Yeah. Oh, Pam, you have a migraine now? I told you we got more to do. Can I tell him, Pam? Can I tell him the story or shall I wait until Monday? Pam's going to be on Monday and tell us some stuff about her life. Please encourage her because she feels that she's been, I don't want to say too much, but she feels she's been misunderstood by some people. Please encourage Pam Smith to come on in tomorrow and tell us her story because she has some very good stories. What we did yesterday was, I'll tell you the short of it, and then Pam, when she's on tomorrow, can tell you the longer version. But Pam has had an attachment, a spirit attachment, that she wasn't sure that she really had. She kind of suspected, but she couldn't really pin it down. Well, he was one that kind of hides and stuff. But it was a stalker of hers. And after he died, he decided to stalk her even after death. Yes, we're going to tell that and many other stories tomorrow night. So you're going to want to be here and listen to Pam tomorrow night because you need to hear some of this. It's going to, but honestly, we got rid of it. I got rid of him. I crossed him over last night. I talked to him. We figured it out. He was turning the volume down on her phone so that I couldn't hear her. Now, there's more going on that we got to solve for Pam, but we got that done anyway. And then after that, the volume was just fine on her phone. Her phone volume just kept going down. And I said, somebody doesn't want me to hear you. Somebody doesn't want me to hear what you're saying. And I think I see him. I think I feel him right there. And she knew exactly who it was. And I said, hey, are you this guy? Don't you be doing that. That's disrespectful. And don't make me mad or I'll send you away and you'll never see her again. Okay. So then I got his attention because he knew I could see him and he knew that I knew I could do something about him. So we managed to cross him peacefully over, though, in the end. After explaining a few things to him, he crossed peacefully. And that's really the bare bones of the story, no pun intended. But seriously, we got more work to do, I can tell. If you've got a migraine, we've got more work to do. But realize that we've got solar flares right now. That's going to do some of it. I have been an airhead all day. I decided to do something easy this time. I've just been such an airhead. And some of my friends, Gemini, I talk to Gemini nearly every day, and she says she's been an airhead too all day. Can't hardly keep a thought. Doing stuff like leaving things in the wrong place and forgetting things all day. Since about 2 a.m. Let's send a little bit of healing to Pam Smith. Just all of us, just send her a little boost there to get rid of that migraine. It might just be as simple as the solar activity, because if you're sensitive, that's going to hurt. I've been having sinus issues from it. I can feel like pressure on my sinuses. So it's not too bad, but it's noticeable. So we're going to have her on tomorrow night about the same time. Remember, we're on Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. nights, right around 10. I make it 5 after 10 to allow for any weirdness that might happen between trying to get on and trying to, it's like there's always something I have to tweak. So I just went ahead and said, oh, to heck with it. 5 after 10 is good enough. It's close enough. Um, so I am. Pam says it's been a lazy day. Well, good. You need a lot of rest, honestly. Both Pams. I love you, and I'd like to see you just be able to rest and get some good rest because you both need it. Um, see, Pam Smith, her brother passed on, so you know, it's not easy to have people you used to having around pass on. It's people that you depend on, especially if it's somebody you depend on. Oh, by the way, please give a good thought for me and Cowboy. And by the way, here's little sleeping Cowboy here. He ate his play string today. Yes, I'm talking about you, Mr. Wonderful. And it can be dangerous for kitties. Yep, show the people your best side. There you go. Yeah, he's at least kind of forward. But here's my little compadre, Cowboy. He ate a string. It can be very bad for kitty cats to eat string. He ate his play string while I wasn't looking. I just left him with it. I had no idea he was going to do that. Next thing I look, he's licking his chops and there's no string anywhere. And I'm like, you silly thing, why did you do that? That can hurt you. He just looked at me like I'm a cat. You know? I'm like, but that's not good for you. Oh, yeah. Prayers that it all comes out okay. Pun intended. You little snot. I said, why did you eat your string? Now you don't have a string to play with. Your string is gone. And I have to concern myself with you. But you know what? I kept hearing that in my mind. But you've got a choice, don't you? Okay. My choice is telling you guys and saying, send me some positive thoughts. I have chosen that little Cowboy is going to be just fine. Yep. Hopefully, and I'm going to give him some extra when he's not suspecting it. I'll give him a little extra coconut oil on his paws to make sure everything slides. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I do want to tell you, if you are interested in, and I know a lot of you are interested in nutrition, I can tell you right now the bone broth is very helpful and it's easy to make. All it is if you get a rotisserie chicken or something or a chicken, just boil the heck out of the carcass. And it'll end up with when you put it in the fridge, it'll actually turn to gelatin. Um, that's collagen. That's what you need in your joints. That's what you need in your skin and your hair and everything. My skin was dry as F, honestly. And it's getting soft again. It's getting moist again. Um, Collagen is amazing, and my joints are far better lubricated than they were. Uh, so I still got my challenges. However, it's a lot better with the right stuff in my body. So do try that. If you've got anything going on with you, it really helps fix a lot of problems. All your connective tissue needs it, your skin needs it, everything needs it. So do yourself a favor. So, my little boy, scared me today. You better be okay. You better be okay and last a long time, 'cause I don't want to have to get another one again for a while. Can't let anything happen to the furry overlord, right? Little furry overlord. It's so funny. We go on Mac's Vision show and we say all hail the tail. It's not the same show unless you see that little semicircle tail sticking up at some point during the show. We don't always get to see all of Max, but he will let you see his tail sticking up. The little cowboy has like a sheep tail. He doesn't hardly have a tail at all. It's like one vertebra. And when it wiggles like a sheep tail, only because he's a cat, it's slow. It really is weird looking. It looks like his butt is doing something weird, you know? He's got an owl shape on his butt. It looks like this owl is kind of it's just weird looking. So he makes me laugh every single day. Um, I am still trying to figure out. I do have DeviantArt. Some of you want to see my pictures. My thumbnail art shows you what some of my pictures look like that I've been doing lately. And if you like fantasy art and science fiction and stuff, I'm going to be doing a lot of that. And that's kind of how I'm hoping to make a little bit of extra coin here and there. Um, I'm going to choose that it works out. I'm not exactly how it's going to work out yet. Not sure exactly how it's going to happen yet. Might be DeviantArt, might be something else. But anyway, we'll get back to that after Mercury stops being retrograde. Now remember, Mercury goes out of retrograde in about 3 days on the 18th. And then it still has a shadow for at least another week. So we'll be still feeling it for about 10 days. For about 10 more days, we'll be feeling Mercury retrograde. So, just so you know. And I think that after the retrograde ends, we're going to see some things zoom. We're going to see some things move very fast. Things that have been kind of held back may come out. And I think we're going to see a lot more litigation. I think so far, I'm holding out hope because the new guy, McCarthy, that's in Nancy's old seat, he said he was going to repeal that they were going to make sure that that bill that was going to put 87,000 new tax auditors on the dole on our dime. Yeah, they're going to tax us to pay for what was it, 87 million to pay for 87,000 new tax auditors, like it's some kind of Christmas present. But they got that repealed. So at least that scumbaggery is not happening. So maybe they'll get some other stuff done. Maybe we'll actually see some things get done. I don't know. I don't know anything about this guy. And frankly, to me, actions speak louder than words. So, yeah, just keep it coming, fella, and then I'll believe you. Okay? Actions, actions talk, bullshit walks, as far as I'm concerned. Either do something or shut up. Right. I think he can have this migraine as a return present if he ever returns. Yeah, we got to work on you, Pam Smith. Got to work on it, fine adjust it a little bit more. Anyway, I was going to ask you guys what you thought about some of this, and I think I already know most of you are going to choose choice. That's what I think. You tell me, though, if I'm wrong in the chat. Am I wrong or am I right? You're going to choose choice. So with that, let me do a few exercises and processes to make you all feel better, and maybe this will actually even help your migraine a little bit, Pam. So close your eyes and get yourself into a calm space. And don't be driving heavy machinery or anything. Don't be doing anything dangerous. But just, oh yeah, yawn if you have to. But let yourself expand. And it's funny how you know how to do this. Just relax and let yourself, your real self, just expand. Stop trying to cram it into this tiny little avatar. You've been trying to cram yourself into this little avatar. Just stop doing that and just feel yourself expand. Expand yourself, your real self. And expand and expand and expand. And you'll be able to feel this. Now, my sinuses are draining because I'm doing this. Told you I was having some sinus pressure, now they're draining. Okay, so expand yourself out and then, okay, go ahead, Pam. And that kind of uncrimps your soul. Okay, just let your spirit just unfold, uncrimp, trying to shove it into a small body. Doesn't work. You're not really the spirit in a body. You're a little tiny avatar that a being is using to interface with this place. So trying to fit yourself into this avatar is just ridiculous. Right. Oh, yes, I will call you tomorrow. Yeah. Go ahead and have a good sleep. Have a good rest. You can just listen or you can just listen to it later. Pam, it's okay. Okay, the other question that I want to ask you is what attitudes, opinions, and judgments do I have left? Do I have that there has to be some kind of end of the world scenario? Any kind of end of the world scenario. Would we be willing to uncreate and destroy that? And if yes, just think or say yes. And I'm going to do the process. I now uncreate and destroy this. Times a godzillion. Pock and pot, all that. And what attitudes, opinions, and judgments do I have that I don't have a choice? I don't have a choice about it. I'm being forced to do this or that or some other thing. And it's never going to be there, never going to be any good old days. Well, we're going to make some good old days. We're going to make them. We're going to build them. We're going to have good old days. And we're going to be able to tell people about them. And they're going to have good old days themselves. They're all going to be better old days than all our good old days have ever been. We're going to have better ones coming. We're going to choose that. So what attitudes, opinions, and judgments do I have that I can't just choose it all? Now remember, there may be layers to this that I find this all the time. The world, they say, is like an onion. Why? Because it has a lot of layers and it can make you cry if you don't handle it right. But um, so I now uncreate and destroy all that times a godzillion, because you don't know how many times, how many lives, and how many ways this has been input into your code, into your particular string of code. Okay. Puck and pot all that. I choose choice. I choose infinite choice. I choose infinite choice. And every time something happens and I worry and I say, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? I hear David saying, what do you choose? And he says, what are you choosing? What are you choosing? What, no volume? I am still in chat, but it's spinning. Has been spinning. Oh, great. Mercury retrograde and no volume. I don't know. Good old Mercury retrograde. Perhaps. Or perhaps some spirit is interfering with the chat. If so, that isn't very nice. Cut it out. And if I catch you, I will send you on one way or another. You might as well just go on. Do you need to go on? Open a portal right now. I'm not kidding. At some point, we may have to get busy and get the ones that are not choosing to go and talk them into it. But if you died, it's time for you to go. You can't do any good here the way that you are. You need to go to the other side. There are people who can heal you up from all of the crap that you happen to hear. And then you can come back and you can help your loved ones. Okay. There's nothing to worry about. You're not going to be punished horrifically or any of that, and all that bit about the soul trap and crap. It's like I've got a pipeline in, and then I hear from them again. You're going to be fine. You're going to go where you need to go. You're not going anywhere else, okay? So when I open that portal, you go. We'll have your friends even come out and get you, your family, if we need to, okay? I want to see everybody go home safe. I really want to see that for all of you. And I know you can read that. So that portal's open. You go on, go through, meet your family, meet your friends and the ones that you lost that have been waiting for you. Okay. We're going to leave it open a little bit and then we'll have to close it because you can't leave open portals. It's not good. So we're not going to have a really, really long show this time. We're going to have a little bit on the shorter side. It's not going to be like 4 hours or anything. I'm just going to do a few exercises you can play back later so that you can feel better. Another exercise you can do is sit up straight as you can, and have your spine be straight. And then take all your chakras and push them back. And rather surprisingly, you know how to do this. All you have to do is think, oh yeah, I can do that. And you can feel. They'll start to go and they'll align themselves right up on your spine. And then you can just kind of align them and Think about them aligning straight on your spine. And then they'll align. So you can align your own chakras. So that's another thing that'll make you feel a whole lot better. Okay? And you're going to take some meds for the cold. Okay, sweetie. We'll see if we can't send some healing to you too. Good night, sis. Okay, and hugs. You know what? You could use some chicken broth yourself, sweetheart. Love you. Hey, I'm getting sinus pressure, but not, fortunately, it never turned into anything full blown. Okay, you work tomorrow. Wish you luck. Okay, Project Skyfalls. Like I said, this is not going to go too late because I want to get back to work on some things I'm working on too. And I just want to touch base with you and because I miss you when I don't hear from you. And I'm not on very much anybody else's show on the weekends too much because I just take the opportunity of the weekends to just work on stuff. Your new job. Yay. You have a new job. Good for you, Project. Yep. Okay. Actually, unless you have something. Oh, yes. Here's the other exercise that I recommend that'll make you feel better. If you sit there and you sit with your spine straight, and then just imagine your roots going down and down and down and down and down, and just down as far as you can go, and even past that and past that and past that and past that. And keep doing it until you find that you will break on through to the other side, literally like the song. Break on through, break on through. Your roots will actually go all the way down through and break on down and out into another place. And you'll find it's very spacious. You find a lot of space there. And you'll suddenly feel a lot more spacious and a lot more connected. So give that a try. Don't stop until you break through. And then, oh, God. Yeah, that got rid of some of the sinus pressure. That got rid of some of the pressure. Okay. And these are things that you can go through every day, and it doesn't take what? Just a couple minutes to feel better. Here's another one I just found. Take your head and right about here. Put your palm about there and put your other one here. Actually, this way. If you do it this way and just hold that a few minutes, that'll help, I hear, balance your hormones out. There's different ways to do this, but this is one of them. Okay, so you just hold that for a few minutes and you should start to feel better. It's another way to feel better. So there's some little tips and tricks there that I use. Right now, I got sciatica in my other leg. I've had sciatica in my left leg for a while. Now I got it in my right leg, and I'm trying to heal that. So I'm working on my own stuff too, and this stuff comes up for all kinds of reasons that we end up working on. So don't Don't belittle yourself by thinking you did anything wrong. It just could be that, it's the layer that you're working on right now. You're working on a layer, and once you get that done, you'll feel better, and then something else will come up. That's the way it goes. So I'm not worried about it. I'm just feeling like, okay, here's another thing I gotta deal with. I'll figure it out. It'll come. It'll work. It'll work out. I hope I can leave you with that at least with that much. I hope I can at least leave you with the thought that you have a choice and it can work out. You don't have to pick any of the end of the world scenarios. You don't have to pick any of it. You don't have to be a part of anybody else's scenario. And I have decided I'm just not going to be. And if you screw up and somehow you end up finding that you are a part of somebody's scenario, you can always choose again, right? You choose again and again and again and again. And it's just, whoops. Okay, well, I don't like that one. I'll pick a better one that I like better. We have to practice it because, when you get to the next world, things start happening instantaneously. And what they're calling 5D, fifth density, frequency, whatever you're calling it, it's basically a frequency shift that we're going through. And I know this guy was talking about, well, you can't go to 5D because you're not a 5D being. You can't go to 4D either because you're not a 4D being. And your body wouldn't be able to handle it. Yeah, okay, fine. It's just fine. Except I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing at all. I don't think we're talking about the same thing. And I don't know what to call it anymore, okay, that suits anybody, because I really think our language has been babbled again. And I think this is a trick that they do all the time, is babble our language and things start meaning something else. And then you can't really get a, a message through. So all I can tell you is that it is a frequency shift for sure. Right now, it is the waves that make up reality. It is a shift. So that is what we're doing. We're rising in frequency. This is how we get to the point where all of the miracles happen, and it always has been. That's really ascension. Ascension is really just a vibrational shift, a frequency shift. No negative waves, man. It's just higher frequency waves. And I mean, we all already know now, there's these different waves that you go through. If you're in theta, that's different than you're in delta, than if you're in alpha, etc. Different effects. You get yourself into a higher frequency, things are going to be better for you. There's less irony, less karmic stuff, and more synchronicity. So the more synchronicity you have, the better you're doing at raising your frequency. So, and the more things you can manifest things in a whiz once you get the frequency high enough. That's part of the secret. And then I believe that one of these, I've been told that even in this body, I'll be able to do strange things like fly and levitate and move things with my mind and do all kinds of things, even in this body, if I so choose to go on and do that. So now, what is Linda Bennett saying? What kind of advice? Boiled water and some mist in the air. Yeah. Sciatica. Yeah. It hurts. I can't hardly walk on it now. I have to definitely use my walker, and I'm limping. But I know this is just another layer I'm going through. Yeah. Thank you, Linda. We all need some healing. I'm going to call for some blanket healing for all of us, because we all got our stuff that we need healed from. be it psychological or physical. But I'm just looking at this, like I said, I'm just blessed that I don't have to work tomorrow. I don't have to, do anything physical if I don't want to. Um, so I'm blessed. I have enough food. I'm warm in a nice, warm, comfortable place. And just feeling blessed every day helps. Um, and I recommend that's another exercise I recommend for everybody. Feel blessed every day. Look at what you have that you are blessed with. I mean, that sounds religious. It's not religious. It's not religious. I agree. Religions have actually done about as much harm as good over the years. It's it's a spiritual principle. The more blessed you feel, the more you feel like you have been blessed, like you are fortunate, and the more you're creating that. You're creating it by feeling it and affirming it. And the more that I say, I'm divine, I'm a divine creator being, and I create and co create with my other divine creator beings. And that's what's really happening here. The more that I affirm that, the better my life gets. Then my life gets better. The more I say, oh, I must depend on somebody else for my happiness, or I must go through somebody to get to God, or all of that crap that we're taught that we can't be one with God on our own. It's all bullshit. We are already one with God. You can't get away from God. You can't get back to God. You can't get away from God. God is everything and everywhere. You can't get back to God. You can only acknowledge who you really are or not. If you want to make the illusion that you're not, you can do that too. That you're separate and that you have no power, you can make that illusion too. But we're learning how to make it the other way so that we realize that we are the power, that we do make the decisions, that we can handle things, that this is the next step in our process. We don't need nuts and bolts. We don't need chips in our head to do this. People have done this without any of that. I understand what Elon is saying. I understand what his fears are and how he's seeing these things. But the truth is, we've been doing this forever. There's always somebody who's kept the knowledge of how to do all this and how to go beyond. And we can all do it, all of us. I'm going to find some way to do it. Mm-hmm. That's my choice. No end of the world. And I hope you come along for the ride because it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. We won't have to worry about time. The way that I see it in the future, what it kind of looks like when things get ironed out is we don't have to worry about aging anymore. We have a lot of time learning. Information becomes one of the number one things. Creativity becomes very important. What can we create? And so the creative people actually come to the forefront. The people who have always been kind of devalued. It'll be a good time to be a dreamer. It'll be a good time to be a creator. And we'll need people to invent things. We'll need people to pay attention to the messages that they're getting and actually create what they're seeing, what they're dreaming about. We'll need people to try out things that have never been done, explorers, all that. They're things that robots will never be able to do the way that we do. They'll do them maybe the way they do them. I'm working with AI right now, AI art. I'm trying to understand the AI a little better. I figure this is one of the ways to do it. But the interesting thing is, so far, it's not creative in the same way that we are. Working with the AI art, it's taking things that are, as far as I can tell, already made and fiddling around with them and remaking them. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Beings that can't really create things, but can take things that we create and fiddle around with them. Isn't that interesting? I'm coughing now. Coughing something up, maybe. Well, anyway, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to get myself some nice tea. Once again, my throat is dry. I got terrible dry mouth. It's all your fault, cowboy. How's it my fault, Mom? Yeah, but well, you're the cat. You're supposed to have this all figured out. Why don't I have a human who figures all this out for me? I know. Anyway, there's Mr. Wonderful. There he is. Our hero. Mr. Furbox. Now look. 2 exclamation points almost on his fur. And then he'll change around and he'll turn in one will turn into a heart and then the other will turn into a heart. They're never both hearts at the same time, but depending on his position, one will turn into a heart and then the other will. And sometimes they're both just wedges. Shape-shifting cat's hair spots. Go figure. Oh, look it. You finally going to show how handsome you are. Look at that. Such a handsome boy. Yeah. Such a handsome boy. Yeah. Yeah, some nice tea. That sounds good. That's what we all need. Tomorrow we got Pam Smith. I got to get ready for that. I got to get Pam Smith ready for that. I've agreed to help Pam Smith with some things so she can feel better and get in here and get over her insecurities about getting online and telling her story, because we all got to do that, really get over it and tell each other, does it really? Look, I had to get over it, you know. I had my own, I still have them from time to time. Do I look good? No, I don't look perfect. Sometimes the lighting is awful. You know, for a while there, the lighting was awful. It made me look horrible. Uh, am I telegenic enough? Well, I better be, because this is, I'll put on some makeup and stuff sometimes, but it just better be good enough, because I'm clean and I'm not, I'm not ugly. I know that. So, I'm sorry, but this may be as good as it gets for a while. I am losing weight like crazy. My leggings are now falling off of me, kind of. If it wasn't for the fact that they're elastic, they'd be dropping off. So some of my pants, I'm going to need belts to wear them, and then pretty soon I won't be able to take them in enough anymore. So that's actually working, finally, and I hope that this continues. I'm hoping that this continues working, and I've maybe gotten rid of enough crap in my head now that I can actually get to the size I'm supposed to be. because obviously. By the way, oh, I'll go into that probably. We'll talk about it probably tomorrow. Hi, Marilena. How are you? You're lucky you got in just toward the end here. I got about 15 minutes left that I'm going to be on, and then I'm taking off. Okay, you have some nice tea, Linda, and I hope to see you in another chat at some point really soon. I hope you show up tomorrow. We'll have another chat. So, and Marilyn, it's always good to see you. I need to get you scheduled back on the show again. I love you too, dear. And I have left my number several times in MeWe. My number is there, sitting there. I have left it now twice in MeWe for you. If you need my phone number, it's there. So you can call me. Can you still get into your MeWe? Because Marilena and I we talk over WhatsApp. And Pam and I, both Pams and I talk, and Deb. And yeah, there's several people I talk to now pretty regularly, Jim and I. So yeah, it's not that I'm inaccessible, but it's just I'm careful because I already have enough weird stuff going through my phone. You know, we all do, right? You've looked and looked for it. It's, have you tried to send me a message? Because I keep sending it to Linda Bennett. Okay, hang on. Hopefully this will work. Okay. Did you see that? Oh, it went off again. Ocean Diana. Like always, I'm going to give you my email. Send me an email. I'll send you my number. Or send me an email with your number. It's oceandiana@gmail. Ocean like the sea, and Diana like the goddess. Like the goddess and the sea and the goddess at gmail.com. It's very easy. Send me an email. There. Can you see that? Okay. Want to get in touch with me? There I am. Send me your email. Send me your phone number. We'll talk. Oh. See, you've got numbers and stuff attached. The only thing I can do to remember that is 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Okay? But anyway, there's my, if you can see it on the screen. Meh. Hang on, cowboy. He's just making noises like, Mom, I want some attention now. My belly needs rubbed. It's not going to rub itself. And I'm a spoiled kitty. Spoiled little kitty. So my belly needs rub, Mom. Right? Meow. Okay, there you go. There's mine. So, one way or another, we'll get in touch. Okay. Love y'all. And if you have anything you need, get in touch. We'll see if we can get it for you. Maybe we can help you with it. Okay. And I'm going to say from myself and my little spoiled, silly little wonderful fella here, my little loving purr box here, purr generator. I just love those kitty purrs. Remember that you are divine and you're a creator, a divine creator. Remember who you are. Remember where you come from. Remember what you are. And the truth is where you find it. Hope you're finding some here. If you'd like to be a guest on my show, oceandiane@gmail.com. Or you can find us in MeWe, the Galactic Woo Crew. Okay? And there's also one called the Woo Lounge. And MeWe is a chat, sort of like Facebook, but without the data mining. And that's why we've gotten it. It's kind of quiet, and they don't pull all of the bullshit that some places do. And we just kind of hang our memes and our videos and our information there. So it's not a very active chat, but it's a place to put our info. So I hope to see you there and here tomorrow and Wednesday. It's going to be like this unless something happens, and then I'll tell you. Okay? It's Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday, right around 10 PS or EST. Almost said something else. EST. And cowboy. Okay, cowboy. I'm saying goodbye. Okay, don't forget to tell people you love them. You'll feel better letting them know on this side before they get to the other side. You hear him talking. You little knucklehead. Mom loves you. Everybody loves you. What do you ever got to worry about, huh? Even though you ate your string, you little putz. Okay, love you. See you next time. Bye-bye.